The Environmental Protection Agency has declared carbon dioxide emissions a threat to public health. The EPA is taking the first steps to imposing new emission rules on U.S. companies. But business groups say new regulations could make it harder for companies to pull out of the recession. Lisa Sylvester has the story of one Chicago area manufacturer.
Quality Floatworks has been around since 1915. Making metal float balls used on flagpoles, weather vanes, plumbing, and industrial devices. Over the years, company executives have been working hard to reduce their carbon footprint, recycling used oil, reducing their heat use, and buying more fuel-efficient equipment. Still, the company's vice president, Jason Spear, is worried about new environmental regulations that could be in the making. This week, the Environmental Protection Agency declared greenhouse gases a danger to public health, paving the way to regulate carbon dioxide emissions. Issuing its finding, the EPA said, quote, "Science overwhelmingly shows greenhouse gas concentrations at unprecedented levels due to human activity." But Spear says if the EPA imposes new regulations, it could cripple his company.
Manufacturing is an energy-intense business, and every little penny counts right now in this environment. We're trying to compete internationally, and with some of these regulations, it hinders our ability to compete globally.
Many in the business community, led by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the National Association of Manufacturers, oppose agency regulation under the Clean Air Act.
The Clean Air Act is not designed for this type of action. So you're really taking a square peg and hammering it into a round hole. They'll do it. It'll be done probably with great pain to manufacturing.
McCoy says with unemployment already at 10%, added regulation could slow the country's economic recovery. But Tufts University professor Gilbert Metcalf disagrees, saying outside of the gas and oil industry, job losses should not be too severe.
I think the job loss is very much overblown. If we start with the kind of modest policies that are embodied in either the House or the Senate.
And going green could add new jobs. According to research by Pew Charitable Trust, there are already 770,000 green jobs. And green jobs are growing at a rate 3 times faster than traditional jobs. The National Association of Manufacturers says it's not that they are opposed to any new regulation, but they prefer to see Congress pass any new environmental rules. And President Obama has said that's his preference as well. But congressional lawmakers are so focused on health care that climate change legislation really has been slow in coming, John.
Let's go back to the small company that makes these floats. Is there any way that they could meet at least some new regulation, maybe begin the process? Could this be done on a sliding scale?
This is something, the concept of environmental regulation is something that they're open to, and they have been sort of on the forefront of this, recycling their oil and the like, as I mentioned in the piece. But what they're concerned of is that you'll see this massive regulation all at once, that they won't be able to keep up with it, that it's going to increase their costs considerably, and that might put them out of business. But, an incremental approach, that's why they would like to see Congress handle this and not have just some blanket regulation handed down by the EPA. If it's Congress, there'll be hearings, there'll be thought, the business community will be able to have some input, and then maybe we'll be able to see incremental steps as opposed to all at once, John.
And then, of course, if Congress handles it, it'll be years before anything gets done.
That's a possibility,
right.
too.
Lisa Sylvester, thanks so much.